Hi, welcome back to She Means Business. How do you retain and apply what you've read in a book? Now, books are a huge, humongous source of knowledge. But how do you retain what you've read in a book and how do you apply it to your real life? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. I see a lot of people where the objective seems to be able to say or quote or sometimes even show off that they've read a certain title or they've read a certain book. But that cannot be your objective. Your objective is not to just quote the title that you've read the title, but your objective should be to be able to use what is inside the book in those pages, the case studies, the stories, the situations, to be able to use all of that and apply it to your real life. That has to be the objective. But how do you do that? How do you retain and apply what you read in a book? Stay tuned. Before we move forward, please follow me on my social media channels. You'll find me as She Means Business Dipika Singh pretty much everywhere. Also, quick announcement, I am launching my online life skill courses. These are skills that you can use for personal growth and professional development. And pretty much like all my content and my workshops, these are going to be very practical, very doable tips that will actually help you. In case you'd like to be informed when we launch them, just subscribe to my newsletter. You'll find a form on shemeansbusiness.co, my website. So subscribe to my newsletter and we'll come back to you on when we launch the life skill courses, which is going to be in December of this year. Coming to how do you retain and apply what you read in a book. Now, to make this fun and very easy to understand, I'm actually going to use two concepts from everyone's childhood, right? Concept number one, chew your food. Now, my mom always told me, and I think all moms told their kids, and today we tell our children to chew your food so that you're able to digest it properly. Don't gobble your food, chew your food. It's the same with your books. Chew your books. Now, obviously, I don't mean that literally. You don't have to sit and chew your books. But what I mean is that you read a book slowly, you read a book to absorb, and you read a book to understand what is within those pages. So every time I come to a case study or every time I come to a story that I want to understand and I want to absorb, I pause. I shut the book and I mull over it. This is a great story. How can I use it? Or this is a great quote. Wow, let me just think about it so that I retain it. The best thing, of course, is to underline it. A lot of people do that. Even I do that. But read a book slowly to be able to absorb what is written in those books. That's a great way that you will be able to remember in the future. Every story, every concept, every case study. So chew your book. Don't be in a hurry to gobble it. I see a lot of targets that people put that, I want to read X number of books this year. And I also see a lot of people skim reading or speed reading. That's okay. If you're someone who's able to retain what's in the book in spite of speed reading it, that's brilliant. But not all of us can do that. Particularly if you're not a book reader, it'll be very difficult for you to absorb if you skim, the book or if you speed read the book. So don't do that. If your target is actually to learn from a book, read it slowly, absorb it, put it down, shut it when you come across something which is really interesting, mull over it, and then pick it up and start reading it again. So chew your book. Concept number two, speak to remember. Every time I had my exams and I was learning something, I would speak it out aloud or I would say it out aloud because that would help me remember. It's the same with books. Again, when you come across a story or when you come across a case study or when you come across a quote that you think you can apply in your real life, put the book down and say it out in your own words. For example, when I come across a story that I can use in any one of my workshops, I shut the book and I imagine a set of about 50-60 people in front of me, and then I say the story out in my own words. That helps me remember and retain that story. Because I have now said it out to some people, they say, in fact, that the best form of learning is actually teaching. So when you're teaching someone, your ability to remember and retain goes up. So apply that principle. Say that story out in your own words, or take that case study and sort of try and explain it to somebody imaginary in your own words. you will definitely remember that story. You will definitely remember that case study. It's the same with quotes that you find in a book. Shut the book and say it out aloud to an imaginary person. You will remember it. These are two of the best ways to try and retain and apply. There are many, but I wanted to bring these two up because these have really helped me in my life to be able to apply what I read in a book to real life situations. Try them and see. This is Dipika Singh from She Means Business. Till next time, bye bye. Stay tuned.